Hello, everybody. I wanted to share with you a layout that I've been kind of working on. I kind of delve into all different scales, and one time I actually had from Z gauge all the way up through G gauge in just about every gauge that was out there. And now I'm down to Z, S, O, and G gauge are the ones that I currently have. But this layout here I saw on a local buy-sell trade, and the guy was really kind of having trouble with it. He wasn't wanting to sell it. He just simply wanted to get it running for the holidays. And I kind of tried to coach him through a few things, and he was just really struggling. And so eventually we met up, and he handed this off to me. I believe this is made by Noch or Noch. It's a German company that makes a lot of pre-made layouts. It's I believe they're I think it's pronounced Tannheim or Tannenheim. It's a winter layout. You've got a nice little bridge and a mountain, and these things they come pre-made. If it's a winter layout, you've got kind of this glittery kind of look to it. I don't know if you can fully see that or not. But it's already painted for you. All you have to do is put track down, wire the thing up, and any other accessories, buildings, whatever you want to put on it, then you can do that. They make them in the winter, they make them in regular with like the grass and stuff as well. And it's this, underneath it, I just spilled all those cars. But you have kind of this kind of, I guess it's kind of like a foam material. Part of it has some wood in it where the bridge part is, and it's all contained really well. It's very sturdy. Yes, I knocked all those cars over. The guy also had a bunch of cars that he had gotten, and I kind of got the sense that this was maybe a like buy sell trade, or maybe a friend of his or somebody gave it to him. And I think he knew a little of the Z gauge, but there were some things he didn't know, and he was trying to hand off to me a working engine, some cars, and he also had this other engine that he kept saying didn't work. It just wouldn't work. And he also was noticing with the overall track that it was derailing all the time. And the first thing that I noticed, I took out all the track and engines and cars and stuff, and I was just kind of looking over and seeing if there was anything that was busted, any wheels that had popped out of their trucks. And the first thing that just red flagged to me was this engine here, the one that he said this didn't want to work. And the first thing that I noted with it was that this thing is made by Bachmann, and I don't really know of too much Bachmann that's made in Z gauge. I know of it as an N gauge and HO gauge, and they've got, I think, a little in O and a lot in G gauge. But I noted immediately, red flag. I mean, not only does it say Bachmann on it, but the other thing I noted was the coupler that's on there. That is a standard N gauge coupler that Bachmann uses. So it definitely is not a Z gauge type of coupler. So this train itself was never going to be able to run on this track. It's just too big. The wheels do not meet up with where the size of the track anyway. So I did want to see if it even worked, and I asked the guy, "Do you have any type of end gauge?" And he said no, he doesn't have any. So it may be something he may try to sell a little bit later, or maybe collect some of the track to be able to run it. But I did check and test it off, and the wheel spun, and the thing did run. So it is a working engine. It's just he can't work it right now. So that one kind of got set aside. And then the next thing I noted, he had these two cars, and these two cars come in. These are Marklands. Um, Markland has this kind of truck to it, or not truck, but coupler. These are very common cars. These ones actually come in their one of their starter sets that just has the engine itself and then these two cars. And he had a Burlington Northern um, engine as well. And if you notice, the couplers are very different. these two kinds of trains, even though, or these two kinds of cars and trains, are probably not going to be able to run together. I don't know if they make some kind of like a coupler car where you might have one coupler of one company and then one of the other. But this little Burlington Northern, I believe, is made by Micro Trains, and it's not going to be able to run these cars unless you have a specialty car with both types of couplers. So and I told him that, and I also told him what kind of engine he needed to get a hold of to be able to run these cars. So again, checked the trucks, checked the wheels, and made sure everything was good. There were no bent axles. There was nothing that was popped out of a truck. So then we got back to this engine here, and again, I wanted to check it. We tried it on the track. It was the only thing that could run on this track. And I have also my own stuff as well, but I was going to stick with his. So then I started looking at it, and it would go around, and it would derail in several different spots. And the first thing that I noted, and unfortunately I don't have the before effect. This is actually the after effect after I've worked on it for a while and got it all situated. And now it runs fine, and I'll demonstrate that in a little bit too. But what I noted was that on the track itself, he had many locations where the track met up with another piece that weren't exactly clipped together. And if you get really down close to this, I mean, you can see a little bit of spacing in between, but underneath they actually have little clips that help keep it together. Well, he had many of these little clips that were out of alignment, and so they would just be poked up just a little bit, and the wheel would hit it, and then it would cause it to derail. The second thing he always mentioned was that when it got to the mountain, that cars were hitting that, and it just wasn't right. And if he moved that around and tried to attach it, then over here this stuff would be out of place. And I was like, well, maybe we don't have the right track exactly in position. So we looked at it, or I looked at it, and I took apart all of the track that he had. I found online the track layout, track plan for it, and we went through, and I found out, yes, he had some of the wrong track in the wrong places, and he was missing a few pieces. He was able to get those other pieces to me that he had in his own collection, and we met up one more time, and I got the track I needed from him. Went through and put everything together, got it all ready, all set up and ready to go. And I asked him, hey, do you want to have a switch track for it? And then have kind of a line kind of running off a little bit with a little bumper at the end. And he was like, yeah, that'd be really cool to be able to have, some cars waiting or something while another train was running around it. So we met up one more time, and he gave me a piece of switch track, a manual switch, and we put it on there. And I ran the train, and it started to derail again. And I had glued down a bunch of this. I had practiced with it, and it seemed fine, but then I tried it one more time, and it always kept derailing in this area. And I don't know what it was, but there was something that was wrong with it. And here, I'll show you. So here's the manual switch that he had. And if you notice, like right here, there is something not right about this. Kind of hard to see exactly, but some of the little kind of the wooden pieces that it would be underneath are made out of plastic, but those pieces had broken away and somehow had raised it up just enough that every time it hit it, it was almost like the track was too either close together or far apart, and every time the train would run through, it would derail it. And it didn't matter what train it was. My trains did the same thing with it, and I eventually asked him if he had another switch. He didn't have another switch, but I had another switch, and it's a remote switch, and he can decide to do what he wants to later with it. I actually had an extra one, and so it kind of worked out for the best. Um, I went through and I got everything glued down, and so I thought I might show you it running and go from there. All right, so there you have it. There's the little Burlington Northern Z gauge going around. We have no derailment issues. The track is secured. And I think the guy's going to be really happy. He's going to be able to run this around the holidays, have the family over, and they can take a look at it and see it. And you can have fun collecting some of the other accessories to add to this. I know the guy was wanting some of my connections to people local and abroad. for accessories, and so he'll be able to get some buildings and maybe some lights and little cars or whatever, and try to decorate this as a full town. So I hope you enjoyed this little video. I wish I had gotten more video on the actual work on the layout. It wasn't extremely difficult. It was just a matter of kind of taking apart what he currently had, touching up areas, repainting a few things, sanding the bridge, little clips down so the bridge would fit, and then eventually working out some of the issues that I have with the track that I mentioned earlier in the video. So, hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, hit like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.